All right. Well, hello and welcome to. Truthfully, I'm just gonna be reviewing this movie, or not even reviewing, just talking about it, because truthfully, it was just a really weird or strange film. Yes, there will be spoilers. You've been warned. The movie is called Tag. I don't know what it is in Japanese, seeing how it was a Japanese film. I know that because if I didn't know how to read, I would not have been able to see the movie. But well, truthfully, the movie starts off in well, it starts off in a panoramic view of the forest and a road right in the middle of it. And this road has two buses rolling through it, and hey, cool. Then we end up seeing inside the bus and pure women. And I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying apparently this movie is gonna be somewhat centered into women. And well, I kind of had it. I thought that I didn't really see the trailer. I was just told that the movie was kind of like involving killing the girls to keep the female population under control or some shit like that. I don't really recall it. All I know is it was really kind of strange, but what am I to freaking be judging about this? But well, the whole situation ended up just I don't know. It seemed like a chick flick at first for some incredibly stupid reason, I guess. Some girls are just talking about I don't know, gossiping, I guess. Other girls were just I don't know, they were all doing their own thing. One girl was actually on her book, on her notebook, writing some stuff down or something. I really don't recall what the hell she was doing, but then the all the rest of the girls started thinking, "Oh, you know what is a great idea? Let's have a pillow fight." Truthfully, in my mind, I'm thinking, really, is this supposed to be for kids that kind of have that fantasy in their heads that girls play with pillows? But you know what? I'm not gonna judge it. I don't know how to judge, so I'm not gonna judge it yet. So they all decide to start playing pillow with each other and just throwing one single pillow around with each other, just not really beating each other up, just passing it around, kind of like I don't know, hot potato, I guess. But this pillow somehow seems to be one of the feathery ones because feathers are going everywhere. Then, out of nowhere, the pillow ends up hitting the girl that hasn't her notebook, and guess what? The notebook falls down on the floor, and she's like, um, everyone's like, our apologies about it. So she pretty much I don't recall what she says, but she just ends up kneeling down or getting down to pick it up, and okay, truthfully, I'm thinking there's got to be some kind of critical thinking, some metaphor, some shit. Because I saw there was a little feather inside of the pen, or just trapped on the pen. So I was thinking, is this supposed to be that feather is gonna be a metaphor for something? And then out of nowhere, we go into the perspective view of the driver who's looking at the truck in front of him, in front of her, and for her information, the bus in front ends up getting I thought it was getting destroyed, but no, it was just getting split into two. And I was like, all right, cool, we got destruction. Then out of nowhere, while she's bending over to pick up her stuff, the her bus now got split in two. Not two by half, I mean two, the lower and the top. Everyone was killed. You can just see their bodies, they're all squirting blood, and the freaking roof and all their heads are just off. And then she just looks up and she's like, okay, well, that was something. She stands up and notices blood everywhere. She starts getting splattered by blood because, blood's already being splattered everywhere. So she's kind of freaked out about it. She doesn't understand what the hell went on. Also, then we end up getting a visual of what the hell happened. Well, not really what the hell happened, more what the hell encountered her. It was some kind of I don't know. It was the wind, truthfully. I don't know. It's a weird concept thing. I don't know. I guess the wind. they had the director of freaking Shyamalan was directing this thing. He wanted the air to do some shit. Sorry, that was a really bad joke, but fuck it, whatever. Um, she ends up saying that the wind has some little like stuff like spinning around on it, which kind of indicate where the hell the wind is coming from. And it comes again. It's like a freaking fighter pilot. It ends up trying to swing on it again. She just gets, I don't know, she kneels down before and dodges the hit. It does that another 3 times until she actually gets the hell off the bus, which to me, I don't know if that's a smart idea or not, but fuck it. Then she sees that the air is coming back. Now it's actually gonna go straight towards her. So she apparently went to the freaking school of running away from things, where she just ran straight ahead in the road, which is pretty wide open, and allowing the freaking air current that's apparently killing things and destroying things to catch up to her pretty fast. But somehow, apparently, she's actually faster than the current of air. But, what am I supposed to be judging about? So, then after that, she pretty much just encounters 4 people walking to one direction. She ends up yelling at them that there's something trying to kill her or some shit like that. And she's like, get down. She isn't able to put them all down. She just grabs one girl and goes down with her. And then the other 3 that were right next to her get chopped off from the freaking waist up. They get split by the waist. And now, again, you just see the blood. She's the girl who just got down and freaking got her ass saved because of that girl. She's like, oh my gosh. Her facial features are just amazed. They're like, oh my god, that could have been me. Then a couple of a trail of bicyclists pass by, and they end up telling them, hey, they keep yelling at them that there's something like that the air is trying to kill and that they need to get down or safety or some shit like that. But it's too late. Like, she tries to grab one of the bicyclists, but the bicyclist ends up, all of them get chopped, which is a funny thing. And the girl who was right next to her that she saved originally gets chopped now. But I gotta accept one funny thing about that was her and the other girl were pretty close to each other, like right next to each other, and only one got cut. I'm thinking, okay, the movie literally wants you to stay alive. Alright, whatever. So after she sees that whole thing happen down, she ends up running intelligently into the forest. Where I thought the air is actually going to start chopping down with trees, but no, I didn't. She just ended up finding a freaking river full of corpses. Well, just the bottoms and tops. And, then she ends up stripping, because this movie likes stripping, I guess. I don't know, you're going to see it, I don't know, freaking amount of times. But she ends up stripping so she can change her clothing, which is full of blood, into something new. That's kind of just some clothing that was hanging on a tree, so she just used it. She started running towards the road and started going back into civilization. When she ends up, oh my gosh, she encounters her friend, the girl who got killed, freaking right next to the bicyclist. I was like, alright, what the hell? I recognize her and all the people around because they're all from the bus. So apparently the air, or I don't know, she must have crossed some different dimension or some shit like that. I don't know. It's complicated. It's weird. I got confused and a migraine, damn it. So after that whole thing, she ends up encountering it's not much of it that she ends up encountering. She just ends up like all confused. She doesn't really understand what the hell happened, so she just keeps walking along. She's going towards the next location, which, guess what? Yay! The next location is actually them going to school, after having discussed the whole freaking situation. Actually, no, they didn't discuss it. They're just saying, why is your hair wet? I know you two are lesbian, blah, 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 and all this shit like that. I don't know. That part I kind of just skimmed on it, because they were going way too fast for me. But they go to school. She ends up telling her the whole story that she ended up dying and I don't know, shit like that. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, all right." So she ends up her and another 2 girls that apparently became friends, some shit like that. They end up forming into a small group, and they're like, "You know what we should do today? We should ditch." And funny thing is that the moment they thought of it, they're like, you know what, let's do it. Let's leave today. They leave the class and meet. The moment they exit the room, they meet up with the teacher. Oh wow, talk about bad luck. So pretty much what the teacher does after that point is she's like, they keep talking, but at one point in time, suddenly she ends up telling him, "All right, girls, let's go." They just ditched that whole freaking situation location, and I was like, "Alrighty, well, someone apparently doesn't really give a damn." But they end up running towards. Actually, they don't run anywhere. They just run outside, and then straight. The camera goes into an outer perspective, like a wide view, so we can just see them. It just goes out every like couple of blocks or meters they end up leaving. So at the end, you can just see them as two little dots just running away from the school. They run into the city and outside, and then at one point in time, they get into a river because, of course, I don't know why not? Because why not? Once they're in that river, they pretty much like I don't know. They all discuss with it. They start talking, and they discuss like the girl who had told the other girl. She ended up telling everyone else that the original character, the main freaking character, she ended up witnessing everyone getting killed. And then one of the girls, who apparently is majoring in some kind of dimensional shit, and I don't know, it was weird. She ends up telling him, "Oh, you must have gone through another dimension or some shit like that." And then she ended up explaining it that she picked up a rock, threw it into a river, and said, "This is one dimension. There's another complete universe dimension," whatever the fuck she said, "where I never threw the rock." Then she ends up going near the water, and she's like, "Imagine if I never threw the rock. If I actually did once I threw the rock, something happens." Because one of the girls ended up asking her, even if you did not throw the rock or did throw the rock, what would be the purpose or incomprehension of the whole thing? Saying how, who cares? You threw a rock, why not? Who gives a damn? But she ended up explaining that when she threw a rock out of nowhere, a freaking alligator, crocodile, I don't know, something, a crocodile fucking came out of the water. And yeah, it just, okay, I'm gonna say this once. I swear I'm gonna get hate for it, but I don't give a damn. It bit her on her pussy. Seriously, it was just chopping up and down. When usually I know I searched them up like crocodile versus shark, and when, or I don't know, a crocodile attacks or some shit like that. And when a crocodile attacks something on land, once it has you in, it's the PSI force for it to shut is much stronger than for it to open. So once it has you in, it's just gonna pull you in the ocean where it's gonna rip you to shreds. But instead, it was just opening and closing, freaking spreading blood all over the place from the fucking pussy. And I'm thinking, really? So this is the kind of movie this is gonna end up being then? But yeah, it ended up being in the whole. Well, let me just say for one thing, the whole part when I said about the bus part, yeah, this is the kind of audience I was receiving because I was really confused on what to feel over any of this, because like when the bus was chopped and you could see all the blood just squirting all over the place, I thought, wow, that was kind of dark, and out of nowhere, like the whole place except me and a couple people that came with me, everyone was laughing. I was like, is this funny or something? Am I supposed to be laughing? Because I understand that's fake as hell. I can see the fakeness, but am I supposed to be laughing at it? Like, this is kind of death. I don't know. It's kind of darkish comedy or some shit like that. So, and the moment the crocodile was eating her pussy, I guess, everyone was laughing. I was like, alright, I kind of get the joke. It's just eating her pussy, like literally it's not biting any other part, it's not going up, down, fucking dragging her in, it's just literally closing and opening the fucking zone. And I'm thinking, well, I know some kid is now getting happy about the situation. But anyways, after that whole freaking thing went down and up and all that shit, we end up coming back into reality, where in reality, her getting fucking bitten by a crocodile was actually just just her explaining what would happen in a dimension. I'm like, you know what? You should have just kept it there. I would have just shut up, but no, freaking crying out loud. So instead, she ends up being like, we create the ultimate dimensions by changing aspects of our lives, or some shit like that. I'm like, alright. And the thing they did afterwards, one of them was like, what if we ended up changing it to the point where, and then she ends up getting creepy, or I don't know, she ends up getting schoolgirl typical horniness or some shit like that, where she ends up showing her her underwear, and I'm thinking, why? Just why would you want to do this? Like, I got no problem with this. I'm a guy. I'm cool with this. I know most other people are cool with this too because they understand. I don't know. You're just being playful, but whatever. So after that whole time, they end up discussing, and out of fucking nowhere, you see. Oh, guess what you see? You see them out of nowhere get a pillow and start passing it around each other like hot potatoes. I was like, alright, cool. Apparently the pillow is gonna be some shit in this fucking thing because I don't understand any of this. So I was like, alright then. Alright, let's see what ends up going down then. The girls end up using, I don't know, the pillow is also, once again, it's one of the kind of pillows that it has feathers for some incredibly stupid reason. I don't know why in this world it chooses to have feathers, but you know what? I'm not gonna be judging because I don't really give a damn. She ends up, one of the, like, her finger out of nowhere, I don't remember what the hell she did, but out of nowhere it started bleeding. And, like, she ends up, one of the feathers ends up on her finger, and her finger, like, it totally, like, goes red. Like, not the finger, but the feather was white, and it landed on the finger that was bleeding, and the feather just got the redness from the blood. And out of nowhere, she ended up looking around her, and everyone was dead on the floor. Then another second passed by, and she's like, oh, wow, that was just my hallucination. I was like, goodness gracious, are you serious? So after that whole hallucination thing, they all decided to go back to school. Why not? They sneak back into the class, and everything seems to be alright so far. Not too shabby, not too bad. I mean, could have been worse, but could have been better. Who gives a damn? This whole situation ends up leading them into the whole thing of... the teacher's like, oh, hi, ladies. Where were you girls at this whole time when you decided to ditch? And I don't know, I guess they laughed or some shit. I don't recall very well. But, like, out of nowhere, she ends up seeing a pillow again in the fucking right next to her. And I'm thinking, what? So one of the teachers asks a question, and she just grabs it, and right when she was like, tell me, or I don't know, some shit like that, she made a request, and she just threw the pillow. And truthfully, when she threw the pillow, I thought the pillow was about to explode because I heard a big bang. And next thing I know, no, it's just a pillow that it's being destroyed by itself because there are bullets flying right past it. I was like, okay, well, I don't know where in the world this started, but okay then. The bullets are now flying right past it, and next thing I know, we see the teacher, and the teacher has a fucking machine gun. She starts killing everyone, and she's like, when everyone is dead, she's like, oh, now, this is what you get for cutting in my class. And I was like, wow, this teacher really does not know how to, like, make punishments. She just went from you should start from a low number, and she just went to a highest ranking. Shit. Yeah, that's some punishment. So she ends up escaping that room. She runs through the hallway. She ends up finding another room where she could find hiding. Oh, but this time she ends up finding a couple of her friends, who were the other two friends, or two people, I don't know. They're trying to escape as well, but they end up getting caught, and they get shot. Then this girl, she ends up trying to freaking, I don't know, but yeah, I think she ended up escaping just because the teachers, for some stupid reason, I think she played too much Outlast because she don't know how to do smack. So as she ends up escaping, next thing we know, she escapes from the premise of school and starts getting surrounded by a whole bunch of students that are also running. And next thing we know, you look around and every freaking instructor has some kind of weapon: machine guns, assault rifles, freaking grenade launchers, missile launchers. You see everything around you freaking exploding. They keep running and running and running as fast as they can. So at one point in time, she ends up getting to, I don't know, I don't recall how the transition was for this one, but she ends up going through a doorway or something where she ends up out of nowhere. She looks inside the mirror and she sees she's wearing a wedding dress. And she looks at her friends and she's like, what? They're all grown up. She's grown up as well. They're all grown and they're like, I don't know, weird things are going on. One of her friends that she remembers, and she apparently remembers her, she ends up giving her a bottle and she tells her to break it so you can get a weapon or some shit like that. And, well, this bridesmaid, before she did that whole thing, she ended up out of nowhere, like, she was happy. But then out of nowhere, she just starts going badass on everyone. Like, she just starts beating the crap out of everybody. And I was truthfully thinking, alright, from whatever the hell kind of movie this was supposed to be, this just turned into a Jackie Chan movie. It just turned into like a fucking kung fu movie where everything is exaggerated. Like, you can hear the bones popping and all that good stuff. And I was like, wow. That's some violence, huh? So after some time ended up passing, she ends up going. She gets the bottle and she's like, "You'll know when to use it." She goes into the whole thing. She's now walking towards the altar. She's about to get married. She sees all the people around her. They're all women. Again, now I understand this whole fucking movie's apparently gonna be around women. Alright, cool, no problem. She ends up walking straight forward. All that other crap. So as she's walking forward, she notices she has a couple people following her from behind, and when she gets to the front, she ends up discovering that she's now like being surrounded by like a whole bunch of women who, for some incredible reason, are now starting to like strip. And from just the people behind her to the whole church, like the whole fucking congregation of people started stripping back into their, I don't know. I was truthfully thinking this is about to go triple X, but nah, it only went rated R, I guess. Well, actually no, it didn't actually show any tits or any breast or any of that. It just showed the underwear, which I guess is okay. So everyone's like, I don't recall what the hell they were yelling, but they were all just yelling at her to do that she's about to meet her husband. And we see like a coffin or some box in front of her. They open it, and next thing you know, you see a pig. Well, a man's body with a pig's head. And yeah, you can imaginate that. Because I can't stop thinking about that stupid face. Nothing compares to it, damn it. Nothing. So, after a while of getting yelled at by everybody, she just ends up going into pressure, and the bottle that she was given by one of the women, she ends up using it to stab the pig from under the jaw, and then everyone's like, "Oh my gosh!" Everyone ends up starting into a fight or some shit like that. Then she ends up running away. She's now running until we end up seeing another reflection where now she's no longer in the wedding dress. Now she's in the running outfit. Now I'm confused as hell. I'm thinking I don't understand any of this anymore because I don't know when the whole switching formations happens, why in the world that happens, or what the hell. So as she's running, she ends up little by little seeing how she's actually in a marathon. Great. She's about to like cross the finish line when out of nowhere in the back come two women with the pig dude that would supposedly died in the wedding. Now he's running with them. And they're all just beating the crap out of everyone. And she's like in third place, and they're all the way in the 15th, and they're beating the crap out of every freaking woman. Then once they get past the finish line or some shit like that, they end up running to the pig, and the girls end up running to her. Like, and they're getting really close to catching her. Like, I was like, oh god, they're gonna catch her. So after a while, she actually ends up going straight into a cave for some incredible reason, which I really don't know how to define, describe, or anything. In this cave, she ends up. I don't recall how the whole thing went on to, but she ended up seeing a whole bunch of her, like her in school uniform, her in another school uniform, her in her running outfit, her in her wedding. She ends up seeing so many of them, and then she ends up encountering I think it was a door. I don't know. After this point, I was kind of confused because I don't know. My head was trying to wrap itself around because at this point in time, she ends up going into a whole what was it? It was like a room full of her, and one of them was like trying to kill her because she's like, you're killing everything. And I don't know, it got weird. So she ended up I don't know, all of hers ended up getting killed. So she ends up like she keeps going up to the point where all of her clones or shit get like none of them get killed. They're just all beaten up. Some of them are beaten up, and the rest of them are just walking. She ends up crossing a door, which turns her into some kind of gambling place. I don't know, some Chinese location. I don't know what the hell it was. It looked like a gambling location, but then it also had freaking posters of her exact movie. So she's like, oh crap, what the hell is going on? And it's guys. Now you can actually see there are actual males in this movie. Okay, it's not just a female flick. Or even though it wasn't a female flick at all, seeing how none of this makes sense in that style of way. She ends up continuing off until she ends up meeting into a room, which puts her back inside of some location that I'm guessing is another cave, where she ends up seeing some old dude looking at the TV. He turns around. He's like, I've been waiting for you, some shit like that. And she ends up like falling on the bed, and out of nowhere, some younger hot dude, or I don't know, some younger dude ends up on like trying to hook up with her because he's like, yes, I've been waiting for this. I'm like, you've been waiting to see someone try to hook up with her? What the freak? Seriously. So as that whole thing is going on, she ends up seeing that there's one of the fucking pans or market things around there. So she ends up using that to stab the guy who's trying to like molest or some shit. And then the old dude who ends up freaking struggling with her afterwards, she ends up throwing him against the TV. She goes a little further and ends up meeting one of her own self, which has now like two little hug things connected to her wrists. I'm guessing, I don't know what the hell the wrist things were, but she was told, like, pull them and you'll be able to access the door. She ended up pulling them, but she ended up seeing that it was actually, like, ripping her apart. She's like, just do it. I know it's painful, just do it. So she just yanked it once real fast, and, like, gosh, her yelling, she was, like, in pain. She yanked it once so fast, freaking the wires came out of her, and she just split in two. And out of nowhere, you can see that all the wires activated a door. That door, out of nowhere, like, this time she could end up seeing all the universes, and she discovered that she was, I don't know, able to go in between parallel universes, and that somebody ended up dying in each and all of them. If she didn't, everyone else or somebody would. So instead, and then the next one, she ended up. I don't know. This is like in the climax. She ended up seeing how there's no accident to this whole thing. So all she did was, in each one, she ended up killing herself. Um, I don't know. Like in the wedding, she ended up stabbing herself. When she was getting molested, she ended up stabbing herself as well. I think when she was running, she ended up stabbing herself. I think, I don't know. In all of them, she killed herself. Just so at the end, it ended up with the conclusion that she ended up killing herself so everyone else could survive. And I don't know. I guess the ending just ended up just saying, "Go ahead, that's the ending." But I don't know. I know the way I described this damn movie was freaking confusing. I'd say you should go check it out. And actually, no, fuck it. Yeah, go check it out. Maybe you're gonna like it more than I did. I enjoyed it to a percentage just because I had a freaking migraine. I don't know if it was in cause of the movie or not. All I know is I had a little thing in my head that just bugged the hell out of me. So after a while, I don't know, seeing that whole thing, I gotta say, I don't know, I was weird about it, seeing how I didn't actually know whether this was like a comedy, uh, comedy horror, stand up action. I don't know. It had multiple varieties of things, and I don't know. At the end, I'm just thinking that's all right, no matter what. But yeah, that's tag for y'all because gosh, that damn movie. I'm serious. Like, I don't know. It's an all right movie. It's for its own unique people. You might find some stuff funny. You might find the whole thing intriguing. I don't know. It depends on the person. I didn't come there with any expectations, so when I left, that was okay. I gave it a 4 out of 5 because I was like, I didn't expect anything. I expected it to be a 0, and it ended up being something alright. But I don't know. It just depends on the person themselves. But well, that's more or less it. Let's see what else I end up freaking reviewing after this because I don't know. Well, till next time, hack out.